In New Delhi, 5 men are now on trial accused of the rape and murder of a 23-year-old Indian woman in mid-December. They're being tried in a new fast-track court created after the brutal crime triggered public demands for tougher laws for sexual assault.
Anjana Pasricha has been covering this story for VOA, and she talked with me from Delhi about the case and the widespread reaction it has sparked.
I think, in a sense, this case became a call to arms for a young, middle-class, educated urban Indians who were really led these protests. They are infuriated with the government's failure to protect women. They are fed up of old attitudes to women. And, some sociologists are really calling it the tipping point of a deep-seated anger, not just with this horrific crime, but with the political class, which is seen as indifferent and insensitive to people's concerns for better, cleaner governance, for attention to issues such as women's safety.
Now let's talk about the government aspect of this. How satisfied are people with the government's response to rape cases and also the police response?
Well, generally, there are a lot of complaints that police are very insensitive to rape victims. Women say they are often asked humiliating and embarrassing questions. Questions have also been raised about the protocols of medical examinations of rape victims. And frankly, the conviction cases in rape cases are very, very low because we have a slow-moving justice system and it takes years for cases to be decided. In this particular case, of course, the government was it was business as usual, but once they realized there was deep anger on the streets, then they did wake up and they did promise a lot of action. The case, for example, is today been moved to a fast-track court, so we could get a verdict in about 2 months, which for India would be absolutely unprecedented. Cases go on for years, as I told you.
And since this gang rape occurred, we've also seen other reports of other alleged gang rapes, including one where the victim was killed and hung from a tree. Those are the reports. We haven't heard very much about these cases, though, so why is that? Why was it the initial case, and then it seems like not as much news is coming out about these others?
Well, for one, India is a vast country. This particular case happened in the capital, New Delhi, so of course it gets a lot of attention. What happens in a rural area, for example, gets far less attention. There's less media there, and it doesn't get followed up as quickly, so that makes a lot of difference. As you say, rape happens in India. I mean, there's one rape case is supposed to be reported every 20 minutes. But I think at the same time, we have to say that this particular case is making it possible for more cases to come into the limelight. More cases are being reported now. This was a subject which wasn't spoken about much in India, though everyone knows it exists. I mean, we have a National Family Health Survey which says that 1 in every 3 women is a victim of violence. It need not necessarily be sexual violence, but violence of some sort. There's a lot of sexual harassment in a city like Delhi, for example. In public transport, women have long complained of being touched and groped. But now I think after this, it is becoming easier for women to come out and talk about it.
And speaking about New Delhi in particular, New Delhi has been labeled India's rape capital. You yourself living there, is that something that you feel is tangible?
It is tangible in the sense that I think if you're going around Delhi, you will not see a woman alone walking the streets alone after it is dark. It's a given in India that women don't do that. I have a young daughter, and I'm very careful when she's coming home that I stay in touch with her during her commute if it is late at night. I think women just have to be very careful. They do not go out alone at night and generally avoid public transport even sometimes at night.
And what about the general perception? In a lot of cases, people blame the victim.
Absolutely. I think this is a very sort of deep-seated cultural attitude, and it is also, in a sense, a clash of cultures that we are witnessing. Cities are modernizing rapidly. Women are dressed in modern clothes, but it is not something that a lot of men are able to take easily because there are these old-fashioned notions that women are the ones who dress provocatively. They bring it upon themselves. They should dress modestly. They should not be out late. And the subtext being the rape victims actually brings it upon herself. Of course, a lot of women activists point out that this is not true because rape is as prevalent in rural areas as in urban areas, which means it's really a deep-seated problem in mindsets and attitudes where women are discriminated against. It's a patriarchal society and where men are very much in control.
And again, our thanks to Anjana Pasricha, who reports for VOA from New Delhi. A sobering footnote now to Anjana's report. Last year, more than 600 rapes were reported in the Indian capital city. So far, only one person has been convicted.